KC funny, yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, good people. It is Saturday, March 11th, 2023. We are back with another edition of the program.
Yes,
This is
sir.
Spade of Spades. We have a special guest in the building. Scoop, do the honors, please.
All right. We got a awesome guest. This man, when you go in new environments, you know what I'm saying? You like, even though if you maybe know one person, it's like you still walking on eggshells trying to get into your environment. As far as like if it's a new school or new work environment, you know what I'm saying? And I'm in a new job, a new situation, at a school. I'm doing custodial work, and it was wonderful to have somebody to put me to the side, be like, yo, watch out for this, watch out for that. You know what I'm saying? So this man Brian Pinkett, you know what I'm saying, looked out for me, and I like some of the stuff that he do around the, you know what I'm saying. You know how people say a master of many is
Jack of all trades.
jack of all trades. You know what I'm saying? He's a jack of all trades. He do everything in the
Swiss
school.
Army knife.
Swiss Army knife. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just want to give him his flowers and to tell him thank you. You know what I'm saying, for pulling me to the side, telling me what not to do, how to do it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it in the bean because he understands that I'm needed and he want me. Hey, he see a young brother like, hey, I want you to keep your job.
Yeah.
Keep your head low. You got the way. Just make sure that you keep the main thing the main thing. So I want to give him his flowers. Brian Pinkett is on the show, ladies and gentlemen.
I live up to that introduction, brother. That's a lot, man. But thank you for having me, man. It's a blessing to be here. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, sir.
So Brian, you're in the school system, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
S-
Been in education for man, as long as I can remember. In different capacities. Been in education for almost about I'm in my 40s now, so I've been doing this for close to 20 some years.
Man, I know when we had Dr. McMillan on the show
Mm.
last season, the question that I asked him, because whenever I see our own people in the school system, I'm always curious to know what was the driving force to go in that direction, because first and foremost, to do that, there has to be a love for the kids
Absolutely.
first and foremost. And obviously we all see what's going on in our community right now, as far as violence and just the confusion and really no sense of direction. So for you, who your influences, any role models or even mentors that you had that influenced you to, even when you was growing up, when you was in school, to get you to where you are right now?
Oh man, it's been so many people along the way. To be honest, I never thought I would be in this direction. I never
Mm,
thought I would be in education, um, even in the capacity that I am. But I've always had a passion to work with kids
mm,
since I was a kid. I've had so many people in my life, so many teachers, so many parents. I grew up at a time where it was a village, where it wasn't just, you know, the teachers at school.
right.
It was mom. It was somebody else's mom. So
That neighbor.
the neighbor, the neighborhood. The principal was coming to the house for dinner. That kind of thing. So, there's been so many people, so many coaches. I'm in the sports. I coach myself. And football, basketball, baseball. Man, I've had so many coaches and mentors along the way. Um, and as a kid, I felt like, why doesn't everybody have this experience?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Why can't every kid have this in their life?
Right.
I felt supported, I felt loved, I felt corrected when I wasn't doing the right thing. You know, my mother worked for the police department, so yeah. So everywhere I went, I had eyes on me. I mean,
That's a fact.
if she couldn't come up to the school, she was sending the officers up to the school,
Mhm.
just to make sure. But uh, and that's not to say that I didn't do kid things,
Right.
and these kids nowadays, they 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 lack that same kind of mentorship.
Yes,
And
sir.
it's unfortunate to see that village is no longer there. You know, I just ran into one of my mentors the other day. And I hadn't seen this man in quite some time. Doesn't live in the area anymore. He
Yeah.
came back down to visit, and the impact he still has on my life. And this is 30 years ago.
Right.
So it's a lasting impact, man. And I'm just trying to give back to the community, in any way possible, in every aspect, because these kids need it.
Yeah,
They
for real.
need people like us in their life.
Yeah. You're so right. I remember. I think it was the year before last. We had my TA counselor,
Yeah.
Mr. Ed, or that was
Yeah.
our topic about how it takes a village. It really does. 'Cause when I went in there, I was like, some of the kids running and all that, at the school, and I'd be like, I ain't about to do nothing. I just felt myself like Mr. Ed did not do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna try to, talk to him to the best of my, capacity at that
Mhm.
at that school. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I'm still, a custodian and I gotta do custodian duties. You know what I'm saying? But try to pull a little Amir to the side. You know what I'm saying? Came to the side. Hey, you know what I'm saying? What you doing? You know what I'm saying? Is this being productive? You know what I'm saying? Try to give him a little ear, dab him up. Hey, you know what I'm saying? We gonna have a good day. You know what I'm saying? We gonna go have a good day, little bro. You know what I'm saying? Little things like that. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to, because I had that, growing up. You know what I'm saying? I had a Mr. Ed. I just seen um, one of my other my bus driver, Mr. Fisher, that we brought up on the show. I seen him when I was getting something to eat. You know what I'm saying? There's little people like that that did like very 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 like what's the word I'm saying? A great impact on my life in doing the little things. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? So like to have people like that and to see what you try to do, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
at the job, like, you know what I'm saying, I applaud it, you know what I'm saying, because I needed that. When I see some of myself
Yeah.
as little kids, you know what I'm saying, so the fact that you don't do the bare minimum, you know what I'm saying, I see people that do the bare minimum, you know what I'm saying, like the fact that you care and I could tell that you care, you know what I'm saying, like I just applaud you again, but like one of the questions that I want to ask specifically to you as far as like being an educator, how much is the relationship with the parent impact your job?
Mm.
Man.
Because I know we talked about it once. So elaborate.
I think the role of the parent has been diminished over the years. Just in society in general, and it's unfortunate because those are their first teachers. Those are the first people in their lives that carry any kind of influence.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the behaviors and things that we see come from home, right? And
Yep.
it's a lot deeper than what we see on the surface. There's a lot of issues that affect our children today in society. A lot of different things out here, influences that outside influence. So we can do our part as a teacher, but if it's not being reinforced in the household. So the influence of the parents is so important. And the relationships that we build with them as educators um, is vital to the end game. You know what I mean? If we can't get the support of a parent from the beginning, or at some point, I'll say at some point, because a lot of these families have never experienced, they've never had someone to reach out to try and help them, or anyone actually try to care. And I can honestly say, in the environment that I'm currently in, and in my previous location, previous school, they had that love. Like you saw it from everywhere, and our parents bought into that. So, if you're a parent out there, I invite you, please be involved in your child's life. Go up to the school, check on them, see the teachers, speak to the admin.
Yeah.
I happen to work in admin, so with that, we deal a lot with parents, and if you can get those parents on your side, the turn that it makes in these kids' lives, it's incredible.
Um, I would say that when it comes to parenthood, 'cause I don't have any kids yet, but I would say the roles of a father has been extremely watered down in our community. It hasn't changed much for mothers at all. For us, I mean, for us as men, it's been like our powers as a father has it's society is constantly trying to find ways to uh,
Diminish.
diminish our powers as black fathers constantly, even with our own women. So if you discipline your child a certain kind of way, you're toxic, or you're mean, or you're being too hard on them, or if you do things a certain kind of way that's tailored towards the style in which you have as a parent, it's viewed as, well, you're not doing this correctly.
Yeah, and that's
You're
as
not raising my child either.
exactly. And that's as a parent. Imagine what he go through as an educator, trying to do that and trying to find a balance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's different nowadays. Because a little bit in it, because it was like you had to watch what you do when we was in high school, but some of the teachers, especially the real ones, hey motherfucker, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
You can't really do that today. You can't do that today. Not this PC culture.
Nah, you can't. You can't. And unfortunately, speaking back to the role of the father, it's unfortunate that our fathers don't play a bigger role in our children's lives. We have a lot of single family households. We have a a lot of struggling mothers. So when you say that the role of the mother hasn't changed, I respectfully beg to differ because it's gotten harder. Because now moms are playing a role of mom and dad.
That's a
You
fact.
know,
Yeah.
and that's not to say that it hasn't been that way for too long, because that's something that we need to change as a society.
That's a fact.
However,
You feel like
you know,
it's more now?
yeah, well, I don't feel like okay, just because you and mom didn't work out doesn't mean you're not a parent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you still need to be a parent to
Yeah.
your child, and that's not to condemn anybody because we have situations where it's the other way around, where it's the mom, not involved in the child's life.
Mhm.
It just seems to be that, unfortunately, we have this overabundance of lack of fathers. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
An overabundance of lack of fathers, and the male influence in children's lives today, especially our young black males, they go through it, and the only influences that they have are these streets, and you turn on the news every day and see the results of that, Unfortunately, we've had some situations in our school systems where, we've lost some lives. I've lost students, and it's not the easiest thing in the world. It's the hardest thing in the world. So the importance of fathers today is
Everything.
everything. And I came from, essentially what was a single family household, single parent household. My mother was everything to me, and my father was around. He was still alive. He was still, but didn't have a major role in my development, And I wonder what my life would have been like had he been there, had he been involved. My father's passed since, but so I may never have that. I'll never have that opportunity to rekindle that. But what would my life have been like? And I think if parents thought about that now, the impact that they have on their kids, fathers, mothers,
Yeah, and that's why I mean, cause Scoop noticed like I pick on our women a lot, just because no one has the courage to do it. But I tell them, there are pieces of shit men out there. Like, it's well documented. Like, we know that, and like as black men, we need to do more to deal with them specifically, and hold them accountable. But the flip side of it is, like I stated, there are a lot of different programs and things set up to divide us. Ultimately, we all know what that is. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole.
The child support system is one.
Right. I mean, well, that's the tip of the spear right there. When it comes to that, but there are also some some women out there who willingly push the fathers away
That's a fact. I see
because they might not be shit, right? And they paint this narrative that he isn't shit because it's easy to believe what a woman says.
Or it's a lot, and there's a lot of women out here that like don't like to give second chances. Like even if the father fucked up, but like if he's trying to make up, let him make up. You know what I'm saying? You hurting the kid at that.
Yeah, I mean something as small as because a big issue in our community is irreconcilable differences. So like when it comes to a disagreement over something within the house, and both parties can't come to a resolution as far as compromising or figuring it out. Well, the easiest thing for them to do is, shit, this is you toxic. I can't deal with this. I'm gonna get a divorce. Now you and your feelings over maybe one or two things y'all disagreed about. So you would rather fuck up your home, split your home, instead of compromising and figuring out a way to meet in the middle. And at this point, you might have one, two, three kids. So fuck the kids. You're not even thinking about how they feel about it. Oh, no, I need to get out of here. You toxic. And all of that is it's just a repeated cycle, whether it's the same story or narrative or whether it's a different one. It's just repeated over and over and over and over and over again. And with fathers not being in the picture, the reason why our community is the way that it is right now is because of that. Because fathers are not around.
I'd say that's the largest contribution. to where we are today. And I would also say, if we dig a little bit deeper, right? Let's think about why that mother might be that way. Maybe she didn't have a father. So maybe
Right.
she doesn't necessarily know how to work through those issues.
Yeah.
So she, that her impression of men, her father's her
Messed
first
up.
impression.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Her father's the first man in her life.
Absolutely.
So he sets the tone.
Absolutely.
And if he's not playing his part, she may assume that every man is like that. Consequently, that's the man she ends up dating. That's the man she ends up having a child with. That's that's that father tends to not be a father to their child because of the characteristics.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna touch on that a little bit later, but you know it's a terrible cycle, and if we're not intentional about breaking that cycle, I fear that it's only going to get worse because um, our society is not getting any better. You know what I mean? It's not getting any better. It's getting harder and harder to do things. You can't even walk outside your door, without having to look over your shoulder. I don't care what neighborhood you live in.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And
matter.
unfortunately, it's folks that look like us.
Predominantly, yeah.
So,
We our own worst enemy. You're a coach.
yes, sir.
You coach middle school.
No, I coach high school,
High school.
basketball. But I've coached every level. I've coached everything from elementary school girls to adult men. Been doing this for 25 years.
What is the most challenging thing about coaching, and what is the most thrilling thing about coaching?
Wow. One of the most challenging things is breaking bad habits. It's kids nowadays they want to be what they see on TV. Unfortunately, they don't understand the work that it takes to get there. And so they see these things. I coach basketball, by the way.
My bad. I ain't put that
Primarily basketball. But they see these things on television and they want to copy these things. They don't understand the work that it takes to get there, just like anything in life.
Right.
And
Exactly.
and it's very difficult. Any coaches out there, please, 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 don't feed these kids delusions of grandeur. Preach to them the work that it takes to get there. Don't just say, "Hey, watch Steph," or "You're a talented player," let your talent shine. No, teach them the work that goes into it. Don't just say, "Watch Steph Curry this week." Show them the work that took. The Steph's in the gym, every day, hours on end, thousands of shots. So I say preach the work ethic. Don't just preach, the pretty things of the game, or of life, because that same work ethic that you're teaching them in the gym or on the field is the same work ethic that they're going to carry into life. So my coaches never let me quit. Never let me quit, and consequently, it's got me through a lot of things in life, even when I was down. A lot of people would have folded in some of the situations that I've been in. And thank God that I was taught that resilience, from a young age. You're not always gonna. We live in a very privileged society, so nowadays, we have that well, every kid must play, or
Yep.
every my kid has to be the superstar, and
Yep.
that kind of thing. And there's a lot of that's the toxic part of it. If we really want to talk toxicity, like think of the lessons that you're actually teaching your kids for the long run. Think about that person that you necessarily don't get along with at work, and think maybe that's the type of person you're breeding, because of this privilege that you're giving them. Instead of teaching them that, hey, nobody is going to give you anything, you have to work for everything. You two gentlemen probably wouldn't be here right now if y'all didn't work for the things that you had. I wouldn't be sitting here right now if I didn't work for the things that I had. Nothing is going to be given to you. So I think that's one of the challenges. And one of the rewards, man, is to see that hard work come to pass. And it may not always be, you know, that kid goes pro or
Right.
goes, first round or anything like that. But you see the growth in their character and who they become as people, and the contributions that they they already have on society. I have some players that, uh, I coached like right before the COVID year, and I hadn't seen these players in 3, 4 years. And during that time, I actually switched teams, so I went to a different school. But those players still come back, and I still check on those players and players that I've had for years, and to see them as adults now, and the things that they've set out, the goals that they set for their life, for their lives, and the contributions that they're having to other people's lives is the reward, man. You wake up every day just, proud of these kids, man.
I think, and all that goes back to the parent. Um,
Yeah.
you
Trying to
at the end,
bounce back habits.
you at the end of the day, you know your child. You know whether your child is pretty damn good at basketball, pretty damn good at football, or not very good, right? If they're not very good, you got some work to do. If you are very good, you got some work to do.
Absolutely.
You got the
It's
gift.
it's being honest with your child, and having them understand and realize, listen, the things that you want, the people that you see on TV, they got there for a reason. A lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice. There are things that they had to do, or they had to sacrifice or give up in order to put themselves in that position that you can't even really fathom or even think of, because you're concerned with what kind of car they drive into the arena or what they're wearing to the arena. They had to build themselves up to that point. So, to your point of saying, because we live in this microwave society where every single thing a child does, you want to provide that positive reinforcement, but you want to be honest too, and you want to be real, and let them know, hey, uh, just because you put your name on this piece of paper doesn't mean you're gonna get a trophy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's just not gonna happen. It's not realistic.
You can't walk in any job and do that. You can't just walk in and say, "Well, I showed up, so now you got to hire me."
Hey.
Nobody's going to do that.
Right? Yeah.
Hey.
Nobody's going to do that.
Yeah. It's
And
Faith without work is dead.
and work without work is dead. You know what I mean? Like you get nowhere in life without putting the work in. And I think, to kind of bring that full circle is that, that starts in the household. That starts with parents.
Yeah.
So
it's it's okay. And I've said this before on the show, but it's okay to take 3 steps forward, but then take 4 steps backwards, ultimately to continue to progress forward. Like in life, you're going to have setbacks. You're going to take L's. I know people hate to hear it. Oh, I don't take any L's. Yes, the fuck you do. It's okay.
yep.
It's okay.
Yep.
It's okay.
Yeah, I try and teach my players there's never any losses, there's only lessons.
Listen,
Right. And I know you hear that a lot, and I know it sounds
it's a little
very cliche,
cliche,
but it's
but
true.
it's true though.
It's true. I've never taken a loss in my life, but I've learned a lot in life. And some of those things, some of those lessons I could have avoided, due to the decisions I've made, So that teaches me that I have to make better decisions, right? Because you can't once it's done, you can't take it back.
Yeah.
You can only move forward.
It's so much you can learn from it. You know what I'm saying? Some of your major like things that you learn from, your lessons that you learned came from quote unquote L. You know what I'm saying? So you got to learn how to take that and say, okay, what could I do better? You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm gonna apply that to the next situation. You got to do that. You know what I'm saying? We was always coach next play mentality. You know what I'm saying? Next play.
Have a short memory.
Next play. We had to. Especially back then, because they used to, the refs, let's keep it a bean. Refs used to cheat Duval a lot.
I mean, yeah.
A lot.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they were.
A lot. We had to keep playing through that
they were
shit.
paid by the ads. And
But I'm telling you, like
Yeah,
specific,
man.
like as a grown man, I can still say that shit. That was crazy. Some of the calls.
I never. To this day, I never forget this play. Real quick before we move on, because I think about it. I still think about it all this time. But I was at corner. I was on the outside. Receiver tried to hit me with a double move. Didn't work. I was in great position. Rammed the side, he went up towards the sideline, and I was using my right arm to just kind of like feel where he was.
Is that
Just
the
kinda like
Flowers game?
Either Flowers or Roosevelt.
I think it was Flowers. Because that
When
was
I-
the same game that Alante dropped that pass.
Yeah, I
He
jumped.
threw touchdown passes.
Yeah, I jumped up. Listen,
sorry.
I jumped.
Lante, no, Lante, you know, we should have won that game. You know that. You said it yourself. So don't even get mad. I love you though.
So I jumped up. I caught the interception. Like
Oh man.
I caught the interception, right, and I landed on my back. And then the receiver just decided to take it upon himself to take the ball, and then they called it a touchdown.
Oh no, you're down.
You
Down
already
by
down.
contact.
He down
Down
with the
by
ball
contact.
in his
Thank
hand.
you. When I say
And then he took it, and then it was like,
when
like,
I
what's going on
when I
here?
say I was irate, I'm like, yo, where's the whistle? I'm down by contact.
But it's high school also, so
Yes.
you down anyway.
It's
You hit the ground, you down anyway.
Yeah.
remember senior year, freshman year, I stripped the running back, in while we both standing, and then fall, and they said he was down by. Where?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That we just had to get that frustration out, Pete.
Yeah.
We just had to get that frustration out. But
what did you learn from that?
oh, we
How
learned
did you
that
grow from that?
we learned that life ain't fair.
That's true.
Life ain't fair,
That's
and just
true.
because something should have happened, don't mean it is gonna happen. So you can't let it deter you, and you gotta keep it pushing. Even though we still lost that game, we
Absolutely.
made that game extremely close. After that play and the 2 drop touchdown passes we had, we still almost won that game. So that took motivation from me, because I think from there on we ain't losing.
But it taught
No, we
you that
didn't.
you're gonna be all right though.
Yeah.
Right? You woke up the next day.
Yeah.
You got up to play another game, and like you said, you didn't lose again after that.
Then
Right?
lose again, and then
But
beat
you
the best
learned
team,
from
the
that
best
next
team
date,
in the county for JV that year.
and you see how that happens, right? You took that loss, learned from it, and applied it to the very next thing you did, right? And that's kind of the philosophy that I try and use with these kids. You know, they're gonna make mistakes. We make mistakes every single day as adults. You know, but what can we learn from that? How can we get better from that? You know, and our kids don't have that kind of encouragement.
Right.
You know, and it's genuine. I mean, you literally have to see something in these kids in order to give them that. But I will say this: every kid has that something. Are you looking close enough? You know, because they may not hear that at home. They may
Right.
not hear, "Hey, you're a good kid. You know, you have potential. You know, follow your dreams." They may not have that at home.
Right.
So, you know, I just try and bring that into their lives, you know, to give them some positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
And it's needed. It's needed. So those of you listening out there, those of you watching, like they need it. Go encourage your kids. Go talk to that kid that you see just hanging out in front of the store all the time. Just go talk to him.
Yep.
Let's go talk to
Right.
him. You
Yeah.
know, find out what's on his mind. Find out what they, you know, what's going on in their life. They just need somebody to talk to.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and you'd be surprised what you find out. These kids are smart.
They're
They're smart.
No, they're very smart. They're way more advanced than we were when we were growing up.
Yeah. At the same time, you still try to.
But it's a trade off though, because they're not as thick skinned as we were.
They
So-
real thin skin.
Right.
They don't like to let shit. They don't know how to like let shit go. It's just because you can get a nigga, don't mean you have to get a nigga. Just because you can get the pussy, don't mean you should get the pussy. You know what I'm saying?
You're not entitled to it.
Exactly. Like availability to them is like, okay, that means I can. Just because it's available, it's a reason why it's available sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You gotta learn how to let
If
that
it's-
shit go.
If it's too easy,
Mm.
probably not good.
Not at all.
It's probably a bad situation. Easy.
If it, yeah.
we
Listen.
seen it,
Yeah, yeah.
experienced it. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
Look, listen. Anytime something falls in my lap,
I question it.
I'm like, hold on, wait a second, time out. What's going on here?
Said
Like,
what?
Right. I gotta break it down for a second because
You said my insurance is $2. You say, okay, what kind of coverage do I have? What kind of $2 a month? Get the fuck out of here! You know what I'm saying?
hold on, you said you get reciprocity? What? What? I can do what? I can go out with my boys? No questions. No questions asked? What? Hold on, time out.
What the fuck was that?
Is this real life? No, I mean it's like, but that's crazy because that kind of goes back to some sort of like trauma we've experienced because it's just so bad. Like certain things we scratch our head like, yo, like is this normal?
Getting finessed.
Right.
Getting finessed.
Right, or just drag through the asphalt for no reason.
For no reason at all. You always got to question everything. Question everything. Even girls that's good. You know what I'm saying? You be like,
No, I'm serious.
Oh, y'all. Are you real? I just need to know. Are you real? Because I don't think you're real. I'm like, I'm questioning it. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
Like,
I'm serious.
this comes from the bullshit that we went through. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
You want to buy me a drink?
Really, nigga?
What? You want to buy me a drink?
and to see a pineapple, shawty. Thank you.
Yeah, I got it. Some ain't right.
Lift your neck up.
Some
Lift your neck
some ain't
Neck
right.
up right now.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. You said you don't need me. No, I don't need you. Oh shit. Okay, now I'm really curious. You said you don't need me. You don't need me. Okay. I got my own bag. I got my own bag. I don't need you for nothing. Okay, now I'm intrigued.
That's how it is.
Now I'm
It shouldn't
intrigued.
be like that.
It should not be like that, but
shouldn't be
that
like
goes
that.
back to past
'Cause
experiences.
I know other cultures don't go through that.
Nah, hell no, man.
You don't go through
Only in the West, bro.
It's ridiculous.
Only in the West.
Mm-hmm.
Only in the West.
It's a problem we've created for ourselves. It's a problem that we created for
Precisely.
ourselves.
It's
Our parents didn't grow up like that. Our parents' didn't grow up like that.
hell no.
You know,
Hell
and
no.
a lot of the problems that we created or that we created. You know, and only way we can fix those things is by us fixing it. You know, we created the problem, we got to go back and fix it. But you know, we have to look deeper than what the surface is. You know, like you said, it goes back to trauma. You know, what did that person experience? And we all have some level of trauma, right?
Yeah, right.
We all have some level of trauma. So I think if we all start with a basis, right? Like just the basis that we're all human beings. We all have some issues. We all have problems. We all gonna bring some junk to the table, right?
Right.
Now,
Right.
how can I help you get through your trauma? Same way you can help me get through my trauma. That's what every
you.
interaction of life is,
Thank you.
right? That's what every interaction of life is. Every conversation you have is you sharing your trauma with somebody else, and they're sharing their trauma with you.
Give and take.
It's give and take, right? But if you're adding to that trauma, then you are part of the problem, right? But we need to be more solution based in the way we approach life. You know, how can we, instead of putting ourselves in these situations, how can we get ourselves out of these situations?
That's a fact.
You know, and I don't think people think in that mode enough. You know, I think they just go along with the status quo of life. They're okay with just everything around them being the way that it is, and never looking for any positive solutions. You know, and that doesn't just apply to kids. That applies to us as adults more so than it does to them, because we should know better. You know, we've had X amount of years to experience these things. These kids don't. You know, they have, you know, their 7, 8, 9, 10 years of life, but you know, how much more life have you had to experience these things, the lessons that you can pass on? And I think we've gotten away from that kind of a culture. You know,
Absolutely. I mean, I posted yesterday morning on my story on Instagram. I think you've seen in school, but I basically said, I willingly spent a lot of years of my life pouring into other people
Oh man.
instead of pouring into myself.
Oh man.
Now I'm pouring all into me now, all
Glory.
all into me now.
I'm telling you.
And like as men, we sometimes we get so caught up on trying to be masculine and trying to I'm a man, like I lead, I lead, I lead. Hold on, brother. Slow down. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. That's cool and all. But what is she pouring back into your cup? If she's broken and you pouring into her glass, shit is spilling all over the place.
That's a
You
fact.
creating a bigger mess. So now, not only do you have to clean up the glass that's already broken, now you got to clean up the mess you made.
And that leads into the topic that we're gonna talk about in a little bit, because you have to separate your own ego to let that happen.
Glory.
You know what I'm saying? You got to compartmentalize that shit. You know what I'm saying? You can still have your masculinity and all that, but you can take a step down to let that lady
Yes, sir.
pour something into you.
Yes, sir.
That's the only way y'all gonna make it. If y'all pour into each other. Because like how we was talking about, you know what I'm saying? It was like, it's not fit. Relationships is never 50-50. And I always say, yes, it is. Because the simple fact that it's never going to be a time where it's going to be always 50-50, 50-50. But it's going to be a time where I'm 60,
Yep.
and she at 40.
Yep.
She at 70,
Yep.
and I at 30.
Yep.
But at the same time, we equaling
Yeah,
it up. So overall, it's 50-50 because, like I said, you can't be a 30 when I'm a 32. That makes no, like, come on now. Like, I need you to, one of us got to fill that void. You know what I'm saying? Or some bull jive won't happen. You know what I'm saying? So we got to do that. But real quick before we get into that, you're a comic book nerd.
Yes, sir.
I'm a comic book nerd.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I love talking MCU with you. I just got 2 questions before we get into our topic. The way the MCU is going, how the MCU is happening, what's your thoughts, takes on it?
I think phase 4.
Phase 4 and
Phase-
then 5 on beyond.
Phase 4 was a feeling out process.
Yes.
You know, it was a lot of, it was a cool down period. An introduction to a lot of new things. You know, I think in order to, you have to move the story forward at some point, right? You have to move the story forward at some point. And getting too attached to those old things, you know, I think the MCU's in for some really big stuff, man. I'm excited for Kang. Jonathan Majors is killing it.
Killing it.
Killing it. If you haven't
Killing
seen
it.
Ant-Man, go see
Awesome.
Ant-Man.
Did you see
I'm
it?
not paid by Marvel, but boy, you know, I will be their biggest advocate. I love where they're going. I love the different things that they're trying. You know, folks have to realize, man, this has never been done in cinematic history, ever. Not a single franchise. Not Jurassic Park, not Fast and Furious, not Star Wars. No one has done this for almost
30 years with multiple individual franchises in one universe. It hasn't been done.
It's never been done.
It hasn't been done. My main issue with Marvel is nerfing people. What they did to Taskmaster was one of the most disrespectful things I ever seen in my entire life.
That was bad.
In my entire life. I'm cool you made him a woman.
It was disrespectful.
You changed the whole...
It was disrespectful. It was.
I thought what they was doing, the Hulk was bad. What they did to
It was
Taskmaster was awful.
It was disrespectful. See, but at least with Hulk, they had the opportunity to,
That's what I'm saying.
to bring the World War Hulk series into
Exactly.
play. They can power him back up.
A little bit.
Taskmaster,
You just destroyed
ruined
Hulk.
it. You ruined it.
You just ruined it. I don't even want to see it.
You ruined it.
No,
I don't want to see
it.
that.
I don't want to see Taskmaster
I
no more
don't.
now.
I don't.
This is like you just disrespected Taskmaster.
Yeah. They watered the character down.
Oh man.
But we'll see what Thunderbolts holds.
Yeah.
We'll see what Thunderbolts
Yeah.
holds. I'm excited for that because it's a pivotal point in the cinematic universe. You got to think you got Secret Invasion that's going to be happening at the same time. You got Armor Wars coming out right after that. Captain America's right before that.
Yeah.
So a lot of things happening right around that time. I think they'll redeem themselves. I think they will.
And then real quick, your top 5 Marvel characters. It
Uh,
has to be hero, villain, don't matter. Hero, don't matter.
I always side on the heroes, but just because I relate to them a little bit more, so I'm gonna say Sam Wilson, one of my favorites, Captain America, both Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers. But Iron Man, hands down, I love his genius. You know, he's always been an inspiration to me. Obvious Wolverines.
Yes.
You know, the Wolverines of the world. And
That's my favorite
and-
Marvel character.
Colossus and Apocalypse.
Underrated.
Oh, Colossus is extremely
Colossus is underrated.
Extremely underrated. I'm curious as to how they're gonna use him in Deadpool. Moving forward.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have to fit that old universe. How do you bring Colossus in with the new X-Men? And in a rated R situation with Hugh Jackman, that's gonna be, you know, incredible. But Colossus and to round it out, Apocalypse. Apocalypse is always bigger than life, you know, and he did it for a long time, you know, because he brought in like Archangel, you know, the Four Horsemen and that whole, yeah.
Angel was a dog once
Yeah.
he turned them.
Yeah.
Man, what they did the live action Apocalypse, I ain't really like it. But back in the day, X-Men, that's the Apocalypse I know.
The animated series.
That's the Apocalypse I
definitely-
know, and they coming out reboot with that. I can't wait for that to come out.
Yeah, 2028.
That's it.
Yeah, it'll be here for you.
It's
though.
gonna be. It's
It'll be here for you.
coming though. It's
Yeah.
coming though. All right.
But when you come to talk Marvel, we could do that. all
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
I don't know what the hell y'all was talking about. I'm sorry. I'm so removed from that stuff now. I used to love it. I used to love it when I was a kid. Now
I got more into it as an adult,
it's like a foreign language to me now. I barely even watch TV. I don't even do that.
I
I
can
be
see
on
that.
YouTube.
The only thing I watch now is sports. If I watch sports.
I be all geeked up, man. I'm mostly geeked up. I ain't gonna hold you. I got more enamored with it as a grown man. With some of the stuff that you know about. Wait a minute. There's some shit in these comics.
Yeah, like I
There's
love
some
nerd
sh-
stuff. Man.
There's some
Love nerd
shit in here. Okay? There's some
Like
some shit.
the stories that you can tell, you know, the universes you can build, you know. And I think like so growing up on that taught us to use our imagination.
That's
Sure,
true.
right.
That
Yeah.
taught us to be creative. you
Yeah.
know? And with art and music being taken away from our schools and our society, you know, that was our outlet as kids. You know, I used to have stacks of comic books. I had the toys and everything. You know what I mean? And that was the first thing I wanted to be, was an animator. You know what I mean? I watch Saturday morning cartoons and sit in front of the TV for hours and like, man, that's what I want to do. You know, I want to make cartoons for a living. You know? And although I did not end up doing that, it led me to other things. You know, I have my own athletic wear company, you know, and the design aspect of it, you know, all of those inspirations come from the imagination that was given to me as a kid, you know what I mean? And the possibilities, you know, comic books, cartoons, those things taught me that possibilities are endless.
Yep.
Like I don't have to just settle to be an athlete, or I don't have
Nope.
to settle just to do everyday things.
You can be
know what I
whatever
mean?
you want, no matter where you came
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with those everyday things because those everyday things are necessary, but that doesn't mean that that's where you have to stop. You know what I mean? You might start working at McDonald's, but at the end of the day, you're owning a McDonald's. Like if that's your end game, like if you go in with the intention, hey, I might start here. What Kanye say? I started. What was it? I'm this week. I'm mopping floors. Next week is the fries.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
kind of principle. Like
Yeah.
you know, just because you start here doesn't mean you have to finish here. And I feel like that kind of motivation and that kind of imagination came from those things. So you know, to now see it in live action, which we didn't have as a kid.
Which is
I mean,
ridiculous.
and they've done it. You can go back and look at the Captain America movies from the
Tried.
70s
Awful.
and the Fantastic Four movies from
Awful.
the 80s, even before
Awful.
Fox, terrible stuff.
It's awful.
But it kept those dreams alive. So
Yeah.
anyway, I love to see that the complexities of things. I like to look a little bit deeper than the surface of life, and those movies, man, they get deep.
They do.
Get deep. It's like a mystery.
You get
solving a puzzle.
You get impacted by that by just reading the story about some alien that dropped from the sky. That just happened to be dropped in Kansas and get raised by some good parents and end up being more human than most of the humans on Earth. That's why I love comic books.
Yeah, I mean, just real quick, because I remember even when we was in school, we look forward to going to art class or PE,
Music class.
because those spaces, it allowed us to be creative, be ourselves.
Yep. Yep.
Because
Exactly.
with math, science, reading, it's scripted,
Yep.
right? I mean, like they're
Yes.
like
Yeah.
Not really science for me. I love science.
no, I mean I love science, but there's a curriculum you have to follow. Is my
Right.
point.
You're right.
With music, with art, with PE, that's all the teacher. They don't have a set curriculum to follow.
Yeah.
That's their creativity.
There's boundaries to those things. Art, for science and math, there's equations. There's
Right.
formulas
Mhm.
that you
Right.
follow every single time to equal this outcome. Whereas art and music
It's boundless.
is boundless. There's no bounds to that. And it gives you the opportunity to explore deeper within yourself. And tap into areas that you didn't even think you had.
Right.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
One of the programs that I started at my last school was a studio engineering school program. Like I went to studio engineering school for music and that kind of thing. And that's something that like we used to do school plays and things like that. And all of the music, all of the engineering and stuff, I taught the kids how to do it, and they ran with it. Like these are third and fourth graders. I sat them down in front of a drum machine, and they lost their mind. They took it and ran with it. And it gives them the opportunity to see things that they've never seen before. Like currently at my school, we have a news broadcast. It's run by a third grader, a third grade girl. She runs the entire program, just like the gentleman back here is running the whole show. That's what she does in third grade, right? But moving forward, she'll be able to take those same lessons, man, and you just never know where it goes.
And see
You never know where
that
it
is
goes.
why I put the blame on us as black men with all the shit that's going on. Because
As far as what?
in our community,
You blame all black?
I
But us
listen to
as a whole.
Listen to what I'm about to say. Because I pick on the women a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we all know that. At the end of the day, it's our fault. You know why? Because if we're supposed to be the leaders, if we're supposed to lead, right? It's our job to pay attention to every fucking thing, everything, right? That comes our way. As a man, when it comes to our family, when it comes to our kids, everything. Now, we're going to miss things along the way. It's cool. That's why we have a good wife to be our eyes and ears. Oh, hey, babe, you missed this along the way. All right, let me pick this up for you. We good.
So many men of our past and did our women so greasy.
I understand that. It's still our fault.
Yeah, I was.
Because
That was to your point.
right.
going
Because
to.
even when it comes to the programs that we see are getting eliminated from our school system,
the art programs and all
art
that, the music
programs, they taking
programs,
history out of school, even though it was already watered down.
They already watered down.
But-
They're not trying to have you in college critical race theory,
Right.
which you need to know, but
Right. But
you know how it is.
I put the blame on us because, like we were talking about earlier with us being absent or really not doing our job, and now a single mother is having to work
Raised, they had to do both sides.
100 times harder.
The men that's coming out of those environments, I give okay.
Right. So I just understand how society is trying to water down masculinity,
Yeah,
make it not be something that make it
Okay.
not be something that other little boys ultimately strive to be
They
a
push
good, solid,
womanhood so
masculine
much,
man.
feminism and all that, and I'm
Right.
like, it's like frowned upon just to be a man. Like, why is it a problem when a heterosexual male says that he don't want his son to be gay? I would love him regardless if he become gay. But as a heterosexual male, I would love my son or my children to be heterosexual. What's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? What is wrong with telling a little boy you're not supposed to wear a dress? Because you're not.
It ain't nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Ain't
I'm
nothing wrong
not
with
saying that if you put on the dress, I'm ashamed you. If you want to do that, then that's what you want to do. I'm telling you, that's not man shit.
Facts. Yeah.
That's not man shit.
Right.
Can y'all come on, like keep it a beam.
Right.
What gay people? What y'all do is fine, but that's not man shit. And don't act like that's man shit. You can still be a man and do that, but that's you know what I'm saying. But that's not man shit. Don't get mad at that. I never heard nobody going on a lady saying that's not ladylike. I heard that. You know what I'm saying? I done heard them, you know what I'm saying, trying to masculinize, especially our women when they built a certain way. But I never heard, you know, as far as like, you know, Serena Williams, that one black athlete, swimmer, she was too muscle bone, so she said she was too feminine. But this grown ass man can switch his gender and then kill everybody in the sport.
I was actually just about to bring that up
Talk
as
to
far
him.
as you know how we talk about compartmentalizing.
Yeah. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Like the
Yeah.
Deion video. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you say that they're taking masculinity out of society.
They
That's
are.
true. They're trying to have this. What it appears to me is that they're trying to have this non-binary sort of society. Well, the problem with that is that, like you said, there's some things that men do. There's some things that women are built to do. Like I'm not built to have a baby. I'm just physically not, you know, capable of doing so.
Right.
You know, in the same way that a woman would. You know, so there are differences, right, that are beyond our control, right? If you're not like none of us asked to be what we are or who we are, but that doesn't mean that we can't embrace who we are and what we are, right? Like we didn't have the choice to wake up and be black this morning. Like that's just what we are, right? Like you're saying with, you know, homosexuals that's just fine. You can be that, but understand that there's still only two choices, right? And we didn't make those decisions. I was born a man. You were born a man. You were born a man, right? Now, what you believe you are, see, that's I feel like that's an entitlement to our society, right? Because growing up, we only had those two things. Now, they're trying to add X, Y,
It wasn't
Z on top
6
of
different things.
Right, it wasn't 6 different things. Now,
It shouldn't be algebra. You feel
Yeah.
me? Like I had a coworker, like it was like algebra. Like one day,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You a regular name, the other guy, you know. I'm like, I need you to pick one, please. It shouldn't be algebra. I don't know if I should
Yeah.
say she, he,
Yeah.
they, them, or what. I'm like, I don't like. I just need you to pick one and just stick with it, cause I'm tired of this back and forth with the shit and all that the elemental P's. I'm like, this.
Yeah.
Can you like just pick one and stick one and you know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to be identified, that's cool. But at the
Right.
same time, even if you are identified with somebody, you know what I'm saying? Let's say like two non-binary people come together, but one happen to be a man and one happen to be a woman. Who gonna do the masculine stuff? Who gonna be the provider? What's going on? You still gonna have to play a role, even though if you don't even you know consider yourself that, you still got to be a role. With your grown ass man that say you not a man, you not gonna protect this non-binary woman because you non-binary. Somebody come in the damn house, breaking the house. If you don't be on some man shit, you know what I'm saying? excuse me, you still gonna have to deal with that regardless.
Yeah.
You feel me? You still gonna have to identify the roles if you're gonna be with somebody like that.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
the big issue that I have is the fact that society is trying to normalize this. It's not normal. I don't care if I'm called toxic for saying this shit is not normal. I don't give a fuck. I
It's
don't care.
okay not
I
to
don't
be
care.
normal,
It's
though.
not. No. But if you want to be whatever you want to be, cool, right? But don't push this shit onto these kids
Thank you.
and have them think it's normal. That shit is not normal behavior. It's not normal.
What
Yeah.
does a and I caution on saying too much, but we have or I've seen in passing 4-year-olds that are being pushed this message. And how can a 4-year-old make that decision? How can a 10-year-old make that decision? What have they experienced in life to make that decision?
And you know
You
what?
know what I mean?
You know, it'd be people counter argument to that. Like it's a dude that consciously and like he always preach heteronormacy, and he was like, well, if
Who?
you going, it's a dude named consciously. He like he really like dissect different public
Is he a man?
topics. Yeah, he a man. He a man. He say some real shit, but like I think he has. I think he tried to like make it like it's normal, which is really not. And he was like heteronormacy is where like you normalize like so if you're gonna have a problem with a 4-year-old, you know what I'm saying? He had a video where he was like, you had a problem with a 4-year-old. He made it going to see a drag queen read a book in the library. You should still have the same problem where the halftime shows where the cheerleaders shaking their ass in front of the children and kids going to Hooters where there is a hypersexualized place. It should be equal, and it's really not. It really is really not. I only buck at them where it comes with like, bro, we're not going to sit here and act like this shit is normal. This shit is not normal because if you was able to normal, you were able to procreate. And you're not able to procreate because it's not normal. It's not natural. It's okay to not be normal, but don't make it seem like it's normal. It's not normal.
Yeah.
That's not normal.
No. Yeah, I mean,
We keeping it a bean. That shit is not normal.
That's
Just
not
because
how you were born,
it
that's
just
not how if it were that way, the plumbing would not shut.
that's
You know
what I'm
what I mean? The plumbing
saying.
would
It's
work.
not normal.
You know what
It's
I mean?
cool, but you're not going to sit here and tell me you came out the womb and you gay. No, it's outside. No, and that cultivated you to feel like that, which is totally okay. But let's keep it a bean. It's normal. But I do feel him on the fact that we still got to keep it the same. Keep it the same because I do be thrown off when I see kids at Hooters.
Yep.
I'm like, what? Like I didn't go to.
I mean, but
Hooters? I'm
again, that's why fathers are important.
yes,
Yep.
yes,
That's why fathers are important because fathers who own their shit, they talking to their kids. Hey, this is what it is. This is not what it is.
yeah.
And they're going to. Good fathers are going to put their kids in positions where they're going to succeed.
Yeah,
They're not going to expose their kids to things that they don't need to see right now.
yeah.
Because I know with mothers, sometimes, because mothers tend to have a little more leniency when it comes to, like, I mean, it's case by case, but when it comes to, like, exposing kids to certain things, fathers, for the most part.
Overly.
Right. Fathers, for the most part, they shutting it down. Like, yeah, no, it's not the time.
Yeah, I'm like, we not doing that.
We,
You know what I'm saying?
we're not doing this right now. It's not the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really not. That's why it really pisses me off with my uncle sperm donor. I'm telling you, even though he trying to now, it's just like it was so many years that you were added to, and it was just like it was so much of my uncle can do. You want to hear this from his father? You know what I'm saying? It's not here. just with his mom and all the mannerisms. All he could have. He could have helped that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Even though I'm getting them, you know what I'm saying? I'm you know, I'm still doing me. I'm gonna be there. You feel me? But like, if he was there, you know what I'm saying? It could have been, you know,
See,
different.
being there does not mean you're there when you're providing money.
Yes, thank you,
That's only
God.
one. That's
Thank
only
you.
one aspect of it. There's so much more to it.
It's not about money. Like
Time is
as a
worth
as a
more.
man, you need to be there
Separate. It's we gotta
at
separate
all
shit.
times. At all times.
We gotta learn how to separate certain aspects of shit. Just because you do one aspect, that don't mean you're doing it as a whole.
Right, right.
That's why this conversation is this topic is like major, because it's like compartmentalization. It's like you have to figure out what's the main thing, even though it might seem ugly. You have to figure out the main thing. You know what I'm saying? Money is not the main thing. It's not the main thing. It's an aspect. Your time, my nigga. Your time. Your time. Your time is everything. Your time is the most precious thing in the world.
Time is priceless.
Even if you did fuck up and you knocked up an old bucket head from down the street, right? Now you got to be able to compartmentalize shit. All right, I don't want nothing to do with her. We really not all there. We got this kid.
You got the baby.
I'ma be there. I'ma be there.
No matter I regret sleeping with you, I'm going to take care of this damn baby.
Exactly.
But also with that though, like you have to be conscious about the relationship that you have with that mother, right? Because that child sees how you treat that mother, right? So it's okay that y'all didn't get along. That's fine. It didn't work out. Cool. It happens to the best of us, right?
Mhm.
But you know, all right, this just wasn't meant for us. But that doesn't mean that we have to be, you know, at each other's throats every 5 seconds, because that's the same type of behavior that child is going to learn from, right?
Right.
So they see mom and dad fighting. Guess what? Guess what they're going to end up doing? They're going to end up, they find that somebody and they're going to have that
And they
same
gonna end up
situation.
fighting
They're going to think that that's normal.
Right.
I saw my mom and dad do it, or I saw my parents do it, so I'm going to do it, right? We have to start teaching healthy relationships even when we don't get along. In schools, it's crazy. It's crazy because I look at what we as educators try and teach and what us as adults actually do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we teach our kids all the time, use your words, right? But then look at us as adults and the words we choose to use, right? The 4-letter words, the angry words, right? Rather than being able to talk through problems like we try and teach our kids, right? Or we teach our kids a lot, you know, keep your hands to yourself, you know?
Mhm.
But then what's the first thing they see mom and dad do? Put their hands on folks, right?
Mhm.
So, you know, but then when mom and dad get that call, well, no, not my kid. I don't know where they're getting that from.
You know exactly where the hell
Exactly
they
where
get
they
it from.
got it from, you know? And so it's important that we not just focus on responsibilities, but how we treat those responsibilities, right? Like how we treat each other within those responsibilities.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, we didn't work out. That's fine. But that doesn't mean I have to be a jerk to you. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean I can't still show you respect. Just because we're not together doesn't mean I can't respect you. You know, and that's the type of thing that we want our kids to grow up and learn to do. We want our kids to have people respect them, right? To be
Yeah.
respectable people. But do we teach them to respect others?
Man, listen, it's how we want our kids to be respectful and be genuine, good, decent people in society. You don't even respect yourself.
It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. That's why, like when like nephew growing up, like I was trying to I had to look at my mirror, like, bro, I can't stop, I can't handle certain things like that. He watching. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? You gotta understand they sponges. You know what I'm saying? You got to do your job. Do your job. You gotta, man, people lack responsibility. You know what I'm saying? As far as making the main thing, as far as what you got to do, whether it's a father, coach, teacher, custodian. You know what I'm saying? You got to make shit the main thing, no matter what. No matter what, how it feels, rub somebody the wrong way. No matter if that person feels like you doing them wrong. I got to do what's right for what I'm doing. You have to understand that. I love certain people that wants to come on the show. But I know it's like I have to make the main thing, and I can't either have you on the show because I know you, or we're not there at this point. I have to do that. If I don't do that, then it's going to mess up the brand. You know what I'm saying? And with this clip we about to show is you sometimes doing your job it can be ugly. It can be ugly. You know what I'm saying? So like you got to do it because that's your job. OG, you can play the clip, please. You know what I'm saying?
Different.
Yeah.
We want mother, father, dual parent. We want that kid to be 3, 5 and up because he's got to be smart. Not bad decisions off the field at all because he has to be a leader of men. Like old lineman, I look for dual parent homes.
Right.
A strong father that.
Here for them is for their development later on. And I don't know, man. I just think we have to do better with separating what we have going on from our own personal feelings.
Go ahead, OG.
Quarterbacks are different.
Yeah.
We want mother, father, dual parent. We want that kid to be 3, 5 and up. He's got to be smart. Not bad decisions off the field at all because he has to be a leader of men. Like old lineman, I look for dual parent homes.
Right.
A strong father that they adhered to.
Right.
Smart kid, at least 3 and above. Lineman, defensive lineman's totally opposite.
What do you mean?
Single mama. Trying to get it. He's on free lunch. I'm talking about just trying to make it. He's trying to rescue mama.
Now, with the topic we had, people see that and, how can he say that? Da, 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 da. And I can admit, it do sound a little bad. You know what I'm saying? First of all, he was joking, and I don't feel like he's meant it literal. But when you recruit, everybody are all conference in high school. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, combine, little combines we used to do back in the day. Everybody wanting this, everybody. You can have a couple people that has the same kind of resume. You have to split hairs at some point. You know what I'm saying? And all I feel like he was saying was, even though it might be stereotypical, the demeanor of what we want certain positions, it comes from most likely it comes from certain homes like that. So when you got you have to split hairs like that, you have to make those kind of decisions based on okay, where he came from. You know what I'm saying? I need a dog at this D line. You know what I'm saying? I need a dog. David, you remember David? Me and him was on the same side of the D line. David had both his parents. You know what I'm saying? David was still, he's still a problem, but he wasn't as aggressive as me. I lost my dad the freshman year. I had anger.
Yeah.
So I was way more aggressive than him. You feel me? But that's nothing wrong with that. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm a server at a restaurant. Now, this might sound bad, and I said it on the show a couple times. Sometimes with these tables, I gotta be racist. My pockets depend on it. You know what I'm saying? Especially with these large parties, they be like, it's 15 top. They white or black.
Wow.
They black, they Gucci, they ghetto. You got to do that because there's been times where when I first served, I was like, I'm serving everybody, no matter what. I'm getting everybody good service.
Yeah.
You know what it is. Especially our people are disrespectful when it comes to tips, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And I had to compartmentalize, be saying we'll treat my brothers. Meredith, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta pay bills. I gotta figure out my bill. Now, you know what I'm saying? Oh, but I be I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying? It's always outliers,
Of course.
Like, I'm sorry, I judged you. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you got to make decisions like that, you know what I'm saying? Because I got bills to pay. You feel me? So like, and his job is on the line. So you got to make decisions like that. You got to learn how to do that.
Yeah, sometimes, sometimes the decisions that you have to make aren't always the decisions you want to make, but the decisions you have to make. You know, as a coach, it's always difficult to cut through. It's always difficult, and there's a few things that you never want to do in that process, but it has to be done. Like you never want to sour a kid on playing the game or even trying, to come back out and try again. You never want to sour that, right? But at the same time, you have to do what's best for the team.
Yeah.
You have to keep that in focus, and you have to make some tough decisions. Thank you. I appreciate you. So you have to make some tough decisions, and it's no different in life. If you're an entrepreneur, you know what I mean, and you hire somebody, you have to make sure that person has your best interest. You have to, or even worse, right? You have to hire somebody, right? And it might be somebody you really love, that you genuinely care for as a human being, but. Unfortunately, it's not conducive to the end game, right? It's not conducive to the goal, right? And like we go through it all the time. Things like budget cuts, right? And sometimes you have to lose people that are valuable to you and that you care about. But like Stu said, keeping the first things first and keeping the end game as the objective, right? That we find that difficult. It's not an easy thing to do in today's society. It really isn't, with all the entitlement. Well, I deserve this, but why do you deserve that? Why should I have to? You know what I mean? But at that same token, it's like, you want to be able to give people opportunities. You want to be able to see things go. Like what Dion was saying, I completely understand. It's tough. It's tough. Especially in the world of football, like you said, you're looking for certain traits and characteristics. Those things start at home.
Right.
So when you have that single family home, that kid, the trauma that kid has gone through, they have to compartmentalize that every single day,
Right.
Just to function.
Right.
And think about it. They haven't even had the time to experience life or to see other things. This is all they know. So, us as adults have to do a better job of doing that. To be a better example for the kids behind us, for the youth behind us, those coming up. So, to be on point, man, it's the outside only sees the surface. There's so much more to things that we don't even see. And I mean we've been on both sides of that coin, right? Like think about it. that breakup when you had to tell that young lady that I'm sorry, this is something.
You ain't it.
You ain't it, right? And that's never you. Like you never want to.
Yeah.
Like you're not trying to
Right.
devastate
Yeah. No.
somebody's
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
But if it's not working, it's just not working. You can both be adults about it. You can be cool about it. Let's take what we know and move forward. But I don't think we slow down our lives enough to really see that. We always think about me first, right? And that, there's nothing wrong with that. But we also often forget about what the me costs the we, right? Like the overall consequences of how we move beyond that, right? Like what I do today may affect you tomorrow, right? And you may not even see it coming.
How me affect the we? That's a bar.
Yeah,
I mean,
a bar.
and see, and that is why, and this is part of the reason why I pick on our women so much because they don't understand us no more. Last night I was out with my boy. Shout out to Ziggy. Me and Ziggy was out.
Ziggy!
It was towards the end of the night, and he was talking to like one girl that he knew, and her friend was there too, and she basically, I mean she was messing around, but she was like, "Don't slip nothing in my drink," and I was like, time out, because he seen the look on my face. I was like, hold on, time out. I was like, now I'm looking at her in her eyes now. I'm like, why does my brother gotta slip something in your drink in order for you to give him some conversation?
That's insane.
Why is that your automatic assumption? And then her friend was like, no, like chill. No, I'm good. But now, like as a man, like now I'm asking you questions.
Yeah,
Like
that's
why as a black woman you automatically expect a black man to slip something into your drink?
That's not even funny.
necessary?
Why is that necessary in order for you to whatever,
And why
right?
is that the perception?
Why, right.
Yeah.
And so her friend was like, no, she's playing. I'm like, she may be playing, that's cool.
But that's insane.
But now I have questions for you. Like,
Yeah.
why do you expect that? Why is that the assumption?
Where is this coming from?
Right. Where's
happened in
this
your
coming
life?
from?
Yeah.
Right. And I was just, I mean, because like Ziggy couldn't really say nothing, but like, because her friend was like, what's your sign? I'm like, my sign's not important. Like what my zodiac sign is not important. Like, this is my brother. At the end of the day, we love you guys as black women, but we gotta stop doing this. Whatever experiences you had with other men has nothing to do with him at all. You know what I'm saying? And then I mean they couldn't really say nothing much after that.
Because they didn't know what to say.
Right, but like her her friends like parting comment was like be nice to the ladies. I'm like I'm like listen, like I don't need you to tell me how to treat people. I know how to treat people.
Especially when I'm not treating you a certain way. I'm
Right.
just telling you.
Right. I'm just asking your friend a question. Like, why is that the automatic
why did that
assumption
come-
when
why
it
did that
comes
come
to
up like
us
that?
as black men?
I don't-
Why? I wanted to know. I wasn't mad or enough. I asked her a question.
I don't understand why it had to be like that afterwards. It was a question. I'm not coming at you a certain way. It's a question.
No. I mean, I genuinely wanted to know because my whole point I was trying to get across was that my brother, he don't gotta do that.
Not at all.
So whatever you experience, that ain't him.
Yeah.
So, and I left it at that.
It's crazy.
I think we all have the tendency to generalize sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think,
It's okay.
it's okay in certain situations.
Right.
But we have to be aware of that. You know what I mean? Like we can't generalize
Respect.
everybody.
Everything.
Right.
Like we can't just see like I mean we've seen it our entire lives, right? And I don't even like to bring race and stuff like that into it, just because I never lived in that vein, although I know it exists. I'm not trying to be
Hell yeah.
ignorant or anything like that. But when we hear white women clutching their purse because they see, black man crossing the street. Like, that's an instant generalization,
That's crazy.
right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
But we've all been a victim of that.
Yeah.
Every last one of us.
Yeah.
As light-skinned as I am, I still been a victim of that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a big motherfucker, so I scare people easily.
You know what I mean? So that generalization,
Yeah.
but the minute that you open your mouth, we understand you the nicest man on the planet. You know what I mean? Like, ever since we met, it's been nothing but love, you know what I mean? And nothing but support. And I see how you do that with other people that you don't even know, right? But we get so caught up in the generalizations of life that we tend to do that to everybody, right? Instead of compartmentalizing that situation, she should have looked at your boy and said, oh, well, let me see what's different about him, rather than assuming that you're the same. And he was the same right off the break, right? And never given that opportunity to see beyond that first impression, right? Or not even the first impression, because she never let him get that far, right? But that generalization, right? Instead of compartmentalizing the situation, seeing who he was at the moment, right? Seeing what his intentions were, rather than assuming what his intentions were, and made a proper assumption from that, right? And we don't do that enough in society. We tend to generalize and look at everybody in broad brush.
Especially by looks.
Yeah, especially by looks.
I'm telling you, you know how many times I heard my personality don't match my size. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, in college, like when I first got there, they thought I was gay. And I was like, nah, man, I'm just me, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm me. Like I don't understand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Why would I have to be a certain way just because I look a certain way? Like, even with my own people, like I never got that. Like, you know, like know me, don't know what I look like.
It's crazy. Like ever
know what
since
I'm
I met
saying?
you, I've never seen you stop smiling. Though. That's the thing. That's why I don't understand it. Like, yeah, you're a big dude, but like nothing about you of who you are justifies that. You know what I mean? So they see your size and they think, oh man, that's a big. As soon as you open your mouth, oh, that's got to go out the window. Like, 'cause I ain't seen this dude stop laughing, stop smiling. You know, always a polite word, always joking. You know, trying to uplift. But the generalizations that come with parents, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if they didn't know you know that, and that's sad because that happens a lot to us, especially as people of color, and
every day.
The opportunities that we miss because of that, or the opportunities that aren't given to us.
Because of that, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got one funny story. I never did this when I was still doing temp work, doing construction. I was coming home one day, and you know, what I'm saying, I went to go get me some yeah. And I'm walking back to the crib, and I just happened to make over there by across the street from Duval, the little area right there. I just cut through, and there was a lady that I see around the neighborhood, the time to time, and she was like some distance away from me. And I got on steel boots on, and I'm trying to get home. I'm tired. I'm ready to go home. So, I'm putting on the good foot. Man, this lady looked behind her and was like, ah! I'm like, yo. I'm like, what's going on? So I look behind me. I'm thinking somebody behind me.
She's like, damn, she was like, damn, it's Halloween.
So she was like, ah! And she stopped. She was like, what do you want? What do you want? I was like, oh shit. I'm like, she talking to me. I'm like, yo, what? I'm like, I said, what? She was like, ah! I started running across the street, and then I see the feds across the street. I was like, let me go home. Let me hurry up and get to the house. This lady think I'm about to kidnap her. I just want to go in the house, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I got it, because it was dark, and you just see this big-ass nigga still.
Nah, I mean, I know.
But like, man, I'm going to the crib, man. I ain't worried about you, lady.
Real quick before we wrap up, another one. You ever walk past somebody's car and they lock the door?
Yes.
When you leave in the grocery store?
Yes.
Like, I'm not worried about your car. I wouldn't know shit. Like, look at them. Like, I'm not worried about your car. My car right here.
I just got out of mine.
I just got out of my car. Like, I'm not worried about your car.
The old lady that pepper sprayed me for asking her what time it was.
Yeah, man. That's just
And that's when I was a freshman. I wasn't as big as I was now.
That's just
well,
wild.
Freshman,
bro.
I was like, what, 5'8", 212? Like, I was, you know what I'm saying? I was a little meatball. And I was like, excuse me, ma'am, you know what time it is? Oh!
Little meatball.
Oh! You know I was a little meatball freshman year, man. God, she sprayed my ass, boy. I was like, damn. And I talked about it on the show. I'm like, what kind of trauma that lady went through?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? She was like,
Yeah.
fuck that. I'm spraying ass questions later. Fuck all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I had to miss practice and all that day. That was terrible, bro. If you ever had to catch the Metro half blind, that's an experience. Sir, is this West Huddersfield? Yes, it is. Thank you, man. I can't see you, mother. I can't see you.
Why? Yes, it is. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good God Almighty, boy.
Boy. All right. Brian, you got any closing remarks before we wrap up?
Hey, just thank y'all for having me, man. I appreciate it. It's been an experience, man.
I appreciate you, man, for coming on.
It's been a time, man. I thank y'all for what y'all do. You know, it's needed. It's needed. So those of you that are at home, man, spread the word. You know, put out the podcast, man. Get these brothers heard, man.
Appreciate it.
You know, I'm talking some real stuff. You know, we need to hear it. We need to hear it. You know, so spread the word.
Well, put your clothing company out there.
Oh yeah. So like I said, I have my own athletic wear company. It's called Odyssey Athletic Wear. You know, we're building, we're growing. I've been doing it for a while, but you know, we're rebranding. We're coming out bigger than we have in the past. You know, I deal a lot of AAU circuit, but we're starting to hit retail, women's wear, you know, sweatsuits, athletic wear, that kind of stuff. So it's coming. So Odyssey Athletic Wear.
We're going to have to talk because we trying to come out with some merch. So
Oh,
we're
I
going to
got you.
definitely talk.
I
I already
got
told
you.
you.
I got
I already
you.
talked to you about it. So,
What you got? You got anything? before we
uh,
wrap up?
hey, I learned how to make the main thing, people. You know what I'm saying? Just because it might rub somebody you love or somebody the wrong way, that doesn't mean it's not the right thing to do in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Of course, like, subscribe, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram. Plenty of podcasts is made, but nobody lay it down like Spade of Spades.
Hey,
Get money and drink water.
get y'all tickets for our show.
Get y'all tickets.
Get
Live
y'all tickets.
show, Hyattsville, Bus Boy Ports, April 22nd. You can go on our Instagram. It's on our bio and our LinkedIn. So go get your tickets. It's gonna be a wonderful show. Wonderful show.
Appreciate you coming on the show, bro. Great insight. Thank you for all you do for the community as well, as far as with the kids. It's important. It's crucial. And despite whatever home they come from, whether it's single parent home, dual parent home, you know, however those kids come to you, you're the second line defense when it comes to help shape and mold them to be whatever it is they want to be in life. So we don't hear it enough in our society when it comes to administrators and whatnot. So thank you for all you do for the community as well. On that note, we are out of here. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks. This is Spade of Spades Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all be safe. Winter is almost over.
Oh yeah.
Winter is almost over. We ain't getting no more snow.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm totally fine with that. You know, winter my favorite season. I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. Duval Tigers. We got the coaches coming on next episode. Y'all better stay tuned to that. Yes, sir!
Yeah, y'all want to miss that. Y'all want to miss that. But thank y'all for tuning into the show. This is Spade of Spades Podcast. We are out. Y'all be safe. Have a great weekend. Peace.